sunshine and rainbows. It's a very mean and nasty place, and I don't care how tough you are, it will beat you to your knees and keep you there permanently if you let it. Nobody is going to hit as hard as life. And it ain't about how hard.
What's up, everyone? Hope you're doing well tonight. How you doing? How you doing? Yeah, appreciate it if you guys don't mind. Karen, how you doing? Marriage of God, Love for Animals 2, DJ C, what's up? Good to see you. Chris Kirkpatrick, my man, what's up, buddy? So excited about what we've got going on with my man Chris Kirkpatrick, guys. Going to be making some awesome announcements pretty soon. Really excited about it. Raider Raw, what's up? Charles in the house. So glad to see all of you guys. My man Jared SK 1976. Look, check this out. We're here tonight because we want to get better. We're here tonight because we want to grow. We're here tonight because we truly want to explode in our lives, okay? Forget about the dollar signs. Forget about all these other things. We want to make an impact in people's lives, and that's what the Power of Great is really all about. My name is Matt Crane, I am Matt Crane across the board on all social media channels. I am the founder and creator of the Power of Great, where every week I help you recognize that your current situation is not your defining moment. You know, great things are going to happen to us in life. So check this out. Before we go any further, you know, did you guys know that we were created in the image of the greatest human being that ever walked this earth? We were created in the likeness of the greatest person, entity, whatever you want to call it, that ever existed. So do you think that greatness is not already instilled inside of you? Do you think that greatness isn't something that you already have? It's just you're allowing life to tell you that you have to continue to live the rat race. You're allowing friends or those people that are in your circle right now tell you that you have to stay in your current situation. Well, I'm here to tell you that your current situation is not your defining moment. Tonight on the Power of Great live stream series, presented to you by the Power of Great Studios and the folks at Rush Impact Marketing, my man Jeremy Warman and the team out there have done some amazing things. We're going to talk about the power of prospecting. Now, if you haven't already hit the link in my bio for my Business Development Inner Circle on Facebook, tonight's presentation that we're going to talk about, the PDF was already uploaded for you, complimentary to download and have. So everything I'm going to talk about tonight, the PDF is already in that Business Development Inner Circle and available for each of you. So I just want to say, Cynthia Basin, the Smart Chick, great to see you. So if you haven't already, just get over there, download that particular PDF, and you'll have it. And we want to talk about the power of prospecting. You know, this week we've really talked about how to become better prospectors online, how to really use the platform, how to understand the value of building your network and your pipeline by becoming a professional prospector. Look, it's no secret, the digital age is the new way people do business. It's a great way for you to reach mass amount of people in a short amount of time. But you have to be able to effectively use the platforms. So we talked about how to become better prospectors online. Then we got a little bit more personal. Guys, follow Cynthia Basin at the Smart Chick. Amazing, amazing, amazing leader. She's a super powerhouse. But man, here's the thing I love about her. I call her my friend. And I'm so thankful to have her here tonight. So make sure you're following Cynthia Basin. She's amazing. Absolutely amazing. But we talked about the power of prospecting on Facebook. Tonight we want to talk about how to become a better prospector on Instagram. Now, I want to take you guys down a little trip called Instagram by the numbers first. So let's talk about it. And look, really quickly, I'm going to show you guys that right here, this is exactly what we're talking about tonight. So this exact PDF, the presentation I'm going over with tonight, is already available. All you have to do is get to the link in my Periscope bio, and you can download this and have it. There's 400 million active users. 75% of those users are outside of the United States. Think about that. Over 60% log in daily. Over 40 billion photos have been shared on Instagram. 3.5 billion likes happen every day on the platform. 80 million average daily photo shares. That's my entire millennial age group. There's 80 million of us. So right now, think of 80 million people, and they're sharing photos every day. 90% of the users, ladies and gentlemen, this is where I want you guys to really start honing in. Awesome, Billy M35, great. 90% of the users are younger than 35. So think about that. That's amazing when you think of in terms. Now, once again, who's younger than 35? What age group? Millennials. 80 million photo shares daily. 90% of the users are less than 30, or younger than 35. Engagement with brands on Instagram are 10 times higher than Facebook, 54 times higher than Pinterest, and 84 times higher than Twitter. So why do you think Facebook bought Instagram? Because they were getting trumped in the engagement game. Photos on Instagram see more engagement than videos on Instagram. I want you to think about it. Okay, right now, some of you might still be trying to figure out this Instagram stories, and you might be seeing less engagement on your stories than you do on your post. Well, this is why. Photos see more engagement than videos. 70% of most used hashtags are branded, and posts with a location built into it receive 79% more engagement. Average engagement per post have grown by 416% in the past 2 years. That's thanks to Facebook. So we want to get in point number one tonight. We're talking for everyone that's just coming in, for everyone that's new to the scope, for the web and replay viewers. We're talking about the power of prospecting. My name is Matt Crane at I Am Matt Crane across the board on all social media channels. I am the founder and creator of The Power of Great, and my entire mission is to help you recognize that your current situation is not your defining moment. So point one about how to become a better prospector and prospect more effectively on Instagram is you want to create brand-specific content. Brand-specific content. What this does is it allows you to specifically apply your brand storytelling. You know, I think about Cynthia Bazins on here. I think about how when she came out with this a product line where basically if you go on smartchick.me, I believe that's right, Cynthia, correct me if I'm wrong, but smartchick.me, and you purchase a hat or a shirt, 50% of the proceeds or part of the proceeds go to a charity. And she took that to Instagram. I saw it on Instagram first, and it allowed her to brand specific that. I think it's a great cause. So everyone here, smartchick.me, a purchase of a hat or a shirt, and I know part of the proceeds go to a charity. But Instagram was a great place for her to put that because it was brand specific. Not only did it show a brand specific to a cause, but it was the smart chick. That's who she is. It's what she does. So, create brand specific content. Because look, brand storytelling is the most effective way to get results through photos, and the same will go through product results. So when you think about people who are creating brand-specific content and are winning, it's because your storytelling is going to be more effective when you do it through photos and when you do it through product results. So the effective strategy would be is to showcase what you do, what your brand is all about, and what your service has to offer through a storytelling process. That's where Instagram stories is going to play a major role. So what you really want to do is you want to take your brand specific content in a story and drive them to your Instagram profile. And you want to show a lot of consistency, because I've already told you that Instagram pictures, Stacy Harp, great to see you, babe, that pictures get more engagement. So if you show a level of consistency, it makes you a lot stronger user on the platform. So you want to create brand specific content. Point number two is you want to be a reactive storyteller. You want to be a reactive storyteller. Okay, what's a reactive storyteller? It's someone that tells a story in a way that creates a reaction. Okay, so the real point of this concept on Instagram is to leverage the human truth or an event that will generate immediate engagement from your audience and target market. So think about storytellers. Like, I love going and watching speakers who get out in the audience, that like walk through the audience, because it creates a reaction. Why do you think most speakers bounce side to side on a stage? Because that's reactive storytelling. We've all been at those podium speakers, and man, you go to sleep. Okay? Tony Robbins is probably the best reactive storyteller on planet Earth, in my opinion. When you listen to him speak, the way he tells the story, it creates a reaction, and you immediately become engaged. So a great strategy for becoming a reactive storyteller is, look, you want to reference popular-based or meme-based concepts in a way that creates an identifying message with your audience, but also you do it in a way that creates a reaction or engagement with them to that particular post. So think about when you post things online, what really creates a reaction from them. It's not necessarily, in my opinion, it's not necessarily the photo, it's the message that drives the photo. So for instance, on Instagram, I just put a post of me with one eye, and I'm pointing to say I want. You're gonna understand the gist of me saying, like, my finger pointing to this is, you're gonna say, oh, he's wanting me to say I want. But then what I said in that message was, it's not my concern if you love me or like me. But what I'm not expecting you to love me or like me, but what I won't let you do is tell me that I won't. I'm too committed to my success. See, that's a reactive storytell. So people were going to react to that message, and then when they see that picture, it does what? It closes the gap. But it also will force some sort of engagement. Okay? Number 3, you want to create sneak peek content. I love the behind the scenes stuff. Okay, my favorite shows that I used to watch on TV were behind the scenes. I love the videos that are really behind the scenes. And why do you think live streaming has become so popular? Because it's all behind the scenes. Yes, there's production involved, and yes, there's things that people do to enhance it, but for the most part, you're really seeing a sneak peek. Okay? You're really seeing a sneak peek behind the scenes. So what this really does is it's giving people an opportunity, especially if you're a power user, to give people a behind-the-scenes look on your brand, your company, your operation, and how it works from an insider perspective. Now, I will tell everyone that I'm not ignoring your comments or your questions, but it's very important in a timely fashion for me to put the information out. I do hold a Q&A session at the end of every particular episode. So I definitely want you to ask your questions as you think of them, so when I go back, if I happen to miss them, I can reply to you offline. But please don't feel disrespected if I don't acknowledge you right away. For everyone that's coming in, for just joining, for sharing, and for liking, my name is Matt Crane I am Matt Crane across the board on all social media channels. I am the founder and creator of The Power of Great, and you're live on this week's series, The Power of Prospecting, and tonight we're specifically talking about Instagram. So we talked in point number 1, just to recap for those that are coming in, create brand-specific content. Number 2, be a reactive storyteller. And number 3, create sneak peek content, the behind the scenes. Show people how your brand, your company, or your operation works, and give them an opportunity to be the insider, right? Kind of give them the inside scoop. It is a game changer for engagement. Instagram's a great way to do that because you can do it in short chunks. So when you really think about a strategy on sneak peek content, it's very simple. Just don't be a secret agent, right? People do not respond anymore to secret or riddle type posts. Like, I can't stand to have to think about it for so long. Just tell me what you need me to get from this. You're going to lose me if I have to play the guess who game with you. So just don't be a secret agent. Understand that people on Instagram and those that are really engaging with your information, they're looking for openness and authenticity. And if they get that right away through this sneak peek type content, then you're really showing them more of a humanistic side, but they're going to be able to support your content. They're going to engage with your content, and they're going to continue to come back over and over again. And Cynthia Bazin, correct me if I'm wrong, but the point of us posting this stuff is to do what? Gain people that are going to come back, right? You know, even Cynthia Bazin and I, you know, she's a phenomenal motivational speaker and a super mentor, like the laser-focused mentor. And as coaches in our respective fields, we still want you guys to not only get our information and be successful from our information, but we want you to come back. So if we make you play Guess Who all the time, you're not coming back. So make sure that you aren't leaving your audience holding the bag because you give them too many cliffhangers. Give them that sneak peek content. They will love you for it, and they will reward you with time and time again engagement, and that's very powerful. Okay? Point number 4 is you want to create motivational and inspirational quotes. And I feel like that this show ought to be co-hosted by Cynthia Bazin, but Cynthia Bazin does the best job on social media with immediate and constant engagement with motivational and inspirational quotes. Every single morning, like clockwork, Periscope, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, very consistent across the board. And what that does is it allows a mass audience of people to respond to her right away. I think that she does the most phenomenal job of any social media person I've seen. She's more consistent, she's diligent, and it really helps her open up an audience base. And on Instagram, ladies and gentlemen, motivational and inspirational quotes are the most engaged photo post, period, outside of pizza. Pizza's the most photographed food item on Instagram and also the most engaged photo. Motivational and inspirational quotes are second. So when you think about this as a prospecting tool, this is specifically a motivational and inspirational quotes are specifically an emotional prospecting tool. People are going to engage because it invokes emotion. As a human being, we unfortunately can't control our emotions when it comes to something that makes sense, hits home, or brings back memories. It's part of our coping mechanism or our healing mechanism. So when people really understand how to leverage motivational and inspirational quotes, they're going to get high levels of engagement because it invokes an emotion from your target audience, and they create a connection. You now are creating a connection with the platform that users are already engaging with your brand. Now, for everyone here, in all transparency, if you're seeing me look above over camera, I'm reading off my presentation here that's available right now in my Business Builders Inner Circle, which the link is in Periscope bio. So all you have to do is hit that link. This is already uploaded and available for you to download and have. So, motivational and inspirational quotes. A strategy behind that would be this. Identify what types of quotes your target audience is paying attention to. What types they're already engaging with you. And which ones the audience are most likely to apply an engagement back on the platform. But you also want to make sure you make them very visually desirable. Okay? Cynthia, in my opinion, another thing that makes it so great is they're visually, right? I visually like them. But the words are also big, easy to read. I can follow it. It's very easy for me to extract stuff from that. So I love that. But motivation, inspirational quotes, MJJ, to answer your question very quickly, we're going to do a Q&A at the end. But quotes in general are perfect. Right? People react to recognizing your current situation is not your defining moment from Matt because it's a quote that invokes an emotion. You can think at that moment, man, you're right. My current situation isn't my defining moment. Or I sure as heck hope it's not. Number 5, you want to leverage the hashtags. Instagram is a phenomenal place where hashtags are really the driving force behind the platform. So what you want to do is hashtags offer you an opportunity to drive a message that is specifically geared towards people in business, brands, or individuals that are looking for that same hashtag. So you're able to broaden your reach and give people an opportunity to what? Drive back to your posts, to your images, to your videos, but it's very targeted. Okay? Very targeted. And that is becoming a very good prospector on Instagram. That's why when people say, hey, leverage the hashtags, it's because you need to learn how to become a more targeted user of the platform. So why is this a very powerful prospecting tool? Because it's very intentional. You're intentionally identifying hashtags that people will either search for or are going to look for or that are going to help you brand. So every time somebody comments on your post or shares that post or likes that post, it adds a score. It adds a score to that particular hashtag, and now every time that hashtag is loaded in, it's going to drive to your ranked photo, video, or profile. So you definitely want to make sure you're leveraging the hashtags. What kind of strategy do you want to look for there? It's very simple. You want to research what hashtags are trending. Don't be foolish. See what's trending. You also want to make sure that your hashtags are what's the most relevant to your message. Okay? Trust me, if you put a hashtag in that says, pardon my language, but let's just call it what it is. If I'm trying to be motivational and I put a hashtag, sex toys, okay? I'm embarrassed to even say that. But do you think that I'm being misleading there? Do you think I'm going to drive traffic that I don't want to that motivational quote? Absolutely. So if you're being disingenuous with how you're using hashtags, then people are going to disingenuously engage with you on the platform. So just be authentic as well. So research hashtags that are relevant to your message. And then you want to leverage those to drive more views, drive more likes, and drive more engagement to your content on your profile, your brand, and your post. Okay? So backtracking, ladies and gentlemen, then we're going to get to questions. So once again, you've been live on the Power of Great live stream series with myself, Matt Crane, at I Am Matt Crane. This week we've talked about the power of prospecting, and tonight we've specifically talked about Instagram. And on Instagram, we talked about 5 key areas to become more engaged with the platform. You want to create brand-specific content. You want to create an opportunity to be a more reactive storyteller. You want to create sneak peek content. Thank you, Cynthia. You want to have motivational and inspirational quotes. And then number 5, you want to leverage the hashtags. It's going to allow you to create a more engaged usage of your time on the platform. But now you're not going to be using it just to use it. You're really going to create a more specific and targeted way to identify people that are going to jive with your message. So if you found this scope to be valuable tonight, if you've walked away with some information tonight that's going to help you leverage the platform in a much more efficient way, type 1 in the chat box. For everyone that is watching us on the web and on the replay, thank you so very much. Hey, I am Matt Crane across the board on Instagram. Let's get there. Make sure we're all following one another. Thank you guys for the ones. Thank you all, guys and gals, for all the ones. I really appreciate that. And at this point, I would love to open up some questions. And I will tell you guys this. I do try to be very strategic with the way I answer questions now. So if you have questions regarding other social media platforms, I'll say this. I'll answer them to the best of my knowledge. But I would also like to be very content specific with our message tonight so we don't confuse people that might be coming in a little bit late, and especially to create that last little layer of valuable content on the replay. So if you have any questions regarding other social media platforms, shoot me a message offline at I Am Matt Crane on any social media channel, or you can definitely join my Business Builders Inner Circle and lay your questions down there. Thank you, Cynthia. Thank you for joining. Cynthia Bazin's amazing on Instagram, guys. You definitely want to follow her there. She does this from top to bottom. She's superb at that type of visual stuff. So, and quite frankly, she's just an awesome freaking person to pay attention to anyway. So I'd love to take any questions if you have questions. But I tell you what, man, I think this particular Periscope was very engaging. I want to let everyone know that at the end of every week, I do go back and on my fullscope.tv analytical data, I look to see who was the most engaged with hearts, shares, comments, likes, and each week I will be giving away prizes to those engaged folks on the Periscope because, look, I'm very big on engagement. I have a big personality. I love to communicate with people and talk with people, but more importantly, I want to make sure that as influencers that use these platforms and as broadcasters, that we're making sure we're holding you accountable to learning as well. I don't want you to come watch this Periscope and waste your time. So I'd rather you be networking. I'd rather you ask questions. I would rather you engage on the platform so that way you can also create a better experience. What information should be using on your Insta stories to grow your customers? So Coloring with Love, what business are you in? What is it that you do? I think scopers have the advantage on Instagram stories because people are being fake that aren't used to live. Absolutely. Aren't used to live. Aren't used to live. I think everybody's used to live at this point. Opening an Etsy shop soon, okay? And when you say opening an Etsy shop, that's very broad. What specifically are you going to target on Etsy with customers and consumers? I'm so used to living, laugh out loud. Yeah, absolutely. Yes, 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 yes. Got my water here, guys. My voice is going. Should authors use a business Instagram page? Great question, MJJ. I'm going to answer that second. Selling little handmade books that can be used for coloring and writing. So the first thing I would do, Coloring with Love, is start your Instagram story out by talking about you. You want to introduce Instagram to who Coloring with Love is. Why Coloring with Love came about. Why it led you to this point where you're going to do those books for coloring and writing. And then you want to start incorporating the product. Because, once again, reactive storytelling. What's more reactive, your coloring book or your story? Your story. Once you start getting reactions to your story, now you want to show your coloring book. But I think it would be amazing for people to learn why you wanted to become Coloring with Love. MJJ, you ask about an Instagram business page. Everyone that considers himself an entrepreneur or has a business or is using the social media platform for business should immediately update their Instagram account from a personal account to a business account for two reasons. One, because it's going to become brand specific, and number two, you will have the option to see your analytical data. Now you're going to see your insights. You're going to see who's viewed your post. You're going to see who shared it. You're going to see all this analytical data, and that's vital on Instagram. So immediately update your profile to business account, period. Coloring with Love. Did I answer your question satisfactory for you, hon? I didn't want you to think I just breezed by it. Can't stay long. Awesome, buddy. Congrats on your interviews tomorrow. I know both of them are going to be even a nonprofit. Yeah, absolutely. Nonprofits especially. Because you want to know who's paying attention to your information. You might be a nonprofit, but you still need money to survive. As a nonprofit, you still need money to pay the bills. You might not be able to show certain types of income. But you definitely want to have a business page because, like I said, what Instagram does by why they open up that business account is because, man, there were just too many fake accounts out there that were ripping people off. So by updating it to a business profile, it really separates the men and women from the girls and boys on there, and I think that's very important. So, but you also want to have that invaluable analytical data. So right away, you definitely want to do that. Any other questions that I can answer tonight? Which night I'm discussing Snapchat. So Snapchat will actually be next week because I'm only doing Monday through Thursday on the Power of Great live stream series. So tomorrow, I actually won't be doing any Periscopes. at all. If I do Periscope, it might be earlier because on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, I'm being more specific on that time I could be Periscoping to either spending it on family or spending it with family. So, DAJC, thank you, my man, or my lady. I appreciate that. And thank you for the shares. I couldn't really see your profile picture, so I don't want to single you out if you're one or the other. But, hey, so real quickly as well, I just wanted to make sure on the back part of this, if you guys want to screenshot that is a great way for you to see all the places that you can follow me on social media. So by screenshotting this, you now are able to basically be able to find out on all the platforms where I am. And it's a lot easier. It's also got my email address as well as my website. And then obviously, ladies and gentlemen, on this bottom part, you're going to see the podcast. And the podcast is a great place for you guys to get and hear from powerhouses such as Brad Lee, Matt Monero, Brian Fanzo, iSocial Fans, Steve Spray, Jordan Stupar, so many amazing, amazing people. Dr. Akina Finch, Frank Salas, Ebon Eka, my man, the big dreamer, Greg Walker. I mean, whew, the list goes on and on and on. Yes, so my Facebook group. What's up, Felix, my man? How you doing, buddy? So my Facebook group, the link is actually in my Periscope bio. It's my exclusive and complimentary Business Builders Inner Circle. So you definitely just want to hit the link that's in my Periscope bio. It'll take you to my business or to my Facebook group. And man, I'd love to have anyone that wants to be involved in that group where you can help promote and network with other people and really be all about servicing others. That's what we're all about. What's the best way to develop your story so you can tell it and build content about it? So there's a multitude of ways that you can do that, but for most people that are struggling on how to tell their story live or how to really be able to enhance the way they tell a story live, I tell you this, okay? I'll put a coupon code up in my Business Builders Inner Circle, but the folks at Archon Mounts, I'll just show you guys really quick. The folks at Archon Mounts for $19.95 have created this nice little tripod stand that this will do it landscape, and then if you turn it, this will do it where you can go up and down. But what I would tell you to do, grab your mobile phone device, sorry for my hand guys, put it in your tripod stand, hit record, and tell yourself your story. And then that way, once you hit end on that record button, then I want you to go back and watch yourself talking about you. And what's crazy is most people are so they still lack confidence talking to themselves. Which means there's a lot of things that happen. Right? So Miss Career T, no. If you don't want to go live right away, that's on you. I did it. I hit live and just rolled with it. And your boy flopped out 1, 0, and 1 on his first 3 periscopes. The 4th periscope hit 4,000 folks. But if you're kind of wanting to still just tap your foot in the water, okay? My group's bold. What's that, Crane's Crew? I love Crane's Crew, man. But what you want to do, Miss Career T, is this, is that, no, turn the video option on your phone, turn it to yourself, and hit record. And you're recording a video of yourself talking to yourself. And then I tell people to go back and play that. And you're going to watch where you were confident. Then you're going to watch where you weren't so confident. But then you're also going to see where you're really BSing yourself a lot. The hardest person to tell your own story to is yourself. Because as a human being, we're so predetermined to put on this happy face. To put on this cloak of awesomeness all the time. And so that's why I tell you, you have to tell your story first. You have to become a reactive storyteller. And the only way your brand is ever going to get down to brass tacks and reach people at a level that engages them is they got to know who you really are. Miss Career IT, thank you for identifying that. So, there it is. I record everything that I do for a reason. It's going to allow me to become better. It teaches me where I was not so strong and where I need to get better and develop more. But it also gives me invaluable opportunities. Let me help you out with something. All these people that say they've done 100 and 200 public speaking events, I've done over 500 this year. And I've done them internationally. And you know why? Because I'm public speaking on Periscope right now across the world. So I am an international speaker because I'm speaking internationally as we speak right now. So if you want to become an inspiring speaker, just hit broadcast. But I think for you, Miss Career RT, if you're still struggling a little bit on hitting broadcast because you're not understanding your story right away, record yourself talking to your story. Talking to your story. Record yourself talking about your story. I'm sorry. And that's going to make you strong, strong, strong. Thank you, my man Felix. I appreciate that. That's what I was going to ask you. Do you speak at keynotes? Yes, I do keynotes. I do public speaking events. I do a lot of sales training. My keynotes are really different, though, because I am very action item oriented. You know, I enjoy the PowerPoints and I like having a nice presentation, but I definitely enjoy having keynotes where it's action item oriented. You know, I would rather see during the, a lot of my keynotes, I tell people to stand up and we start moving. And then I ask you to look to the left and talk to that person, and look to the right and talk to that person, and then look forward and tell me what you learned. Because most people just come to keynotes and they expect an evangelist. They get you pumped for the moment that you're there, and then once that evangelist leaves, you've got nothing to do until the next evangelist comes into town and gets you fired up again. So, a lot of my content for my keynotes is based on real-time information. It's going to help you get better, but I also like to do actionary type speaking because it engages people more. Any other questions? Great questions, guys. Thank you so very much. Awesome, Miss Career RT. I love that. If you're ever in Katy or Houston, Texas, I'll probably be there. All right, been making videos. Perfect. Perfect. I will be out in Las Vegas, Nevada next week, keynoting in front of a large group of online entrepreneurs and live streamers. Scopers Unite, Peripreneurs, and Talent Tribe are going to be out in Las Vegas, Nevada at a big event, and I will be keynoting that event. Need to broadcast often. Yes. Awesome. 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 Greg, man, what's up, buddy? Great to see you, my friend. Great to see you. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate that. So very honored to have you here. There's another amazing individual. I got to meet Greg through Justin Kaplan Pro and Cynthia Bazin. And Greg has an amazing, amazing story. And, man, he's just a cool dude overall. Really like that guy. So, yes. Any other questions that I might be able to answer for you guys tonight? I'll go off topic if somebody has an off topic question that they'd like to ask. The lineup in Vegas is trouble, but it's a good kind of trouble. Any other questions? All right. So, hey, everyone, I want to say thank you again for participating tonight. My name is Matt Crane. Share with people what your biggest mistake was. Writing a book. So I answer those two questions. Number one, yes, I am writing a book. I'm writing a book right now called The Power of Great, Recognizing Your Current Situation is Not Your Defining Moment. I'll have that book done by, I want to, man, I've been writing it for almost 6 months. But my man Felix asked me, what was my biggest mistake? What top 5 social media accounts should we have and post to? Okay, I'll answer that question next. What was my biggest mistake? My biggest mistake was not starting sooner. Had I jumped into the entrepreneurial journey 5 years earlier, I would be 10 times ahead of where I'm at right now. So I feel like I waited too long. I waited a little bit too long. I never feel like I waited, that I missed my shots. But I feel like I waited. I didn't start soon enough. Top 5 social media sites to post to and why. I'm on every one of them. So, and I talked about it. Remember, we talked about those multiple points of distribution. So you can take that same multiple points of distribution on Facebook that I talked about and do the same thing on all social media channels. How to follow up on Instagram. Simple. You give people a call to action and they do it. You follow up with them. So every time I get a direct message on Instagram, I reply. And I reply with 2 things. 1, thank you for the message. What prompted you to send me a DM? Okay? Well, you asked me to. Oh, okay, cool. Well, what is it that I can help you with today? Or if they say, oh, you know, I really like your content. I just wanted to know more about you. Okay, perfect. Well, what is it specifically that you would like to know about me? So at that point, you just now become human being. But the problem is most people don't dedicate themselves enough time to the follow-up on social media because you don't do what? You don't schedule it. So it all goes back to the very first Periscope I talked about, is you got to create that schedule. So because I know that I have time scheduled every single day for social media, it absolutely hits. And then I'm able to respond. Am I sending you too much on Instagram? So here's what I'm going to tell you, been making videos. I'm all about activity. So if you want my attention, been making videos, would you rather send me 1 message to try to get my attention or 10? I would rather send you 10. If you guys follow me on any social media channels, then you know your phone blows up with my content. Would you not say so? If you're on Facebook, every time I post a blog or a post to Facebook, I post it to 7 different areas. So, never think you're doing too much. You can always do more. Awesome. So there we have it, guys. Thank you so very much for being a part of the Power of Great live stream series presented by my folks at Rush Impact Marketing and myself, Matt Crane, the creator and founder of the Power of Great. You know, the whole point behind the Power of Great is to help you recognize that your current situation is not your defining moment. We're still going to be going over the power of prospecting. Next week, we're going to have Snapchat. We're going to have Twitter. We're going to have so many other platforms. We're going to have Periscope. We're going to have Facebook Live next week. Snapchat, Twitter, Periscope, and Facebook Live. The power of prospecting. Look, I'm going to tell you guys and gals, I don't normally do this, but I'm one of the best salespeople on the planet. I have the track record. I have the accolades, I have the awards, and I rarely talk about that because I feel that sales is a major part of business development. But what has really helped me be a year after year leader in the sales business in anything that I do, with any company that I work with, whether it's healthcare, whether it's small businesses, whether it's entrepreneurs, whether it's multi-level marketing companies, network marketing companies, whether it's individuals that are trying to build those businesses, whether it's corporations. What's helped me be a leader in sales year after year after year is that I am a true student of the prospecting game. How do I market my book? Every single week, my man Jay, you guys hear the power of great, the power of great, the power of great, the power of great. You have a podcast called The Power of Great. So when the power of great, recognizing your current situation is not your defining moment, the book comes out, you already recognize it. It's already ingrained in your mind. You're like, oh, that's Matt Crane's book. And my mission is every time you hear the term power of great, you're thinking about me anyway. So that's how I market that. It will be nothing like Lewis Howes' book. Nothing like Lewis Howes' book. You know, Lewis Howes and I have similar backgrounds. We're both ex-athletes. But The School of Greatness is a great book. I've read it. But it won't be anything like that. But yes, prospecting. So kind of get back on the topic. Look, I truly believe there were a lot of people miss in the sales game and in the business game is they don't understand how to prospect. They don't get the value of prospecting. You see, you might land one big deal, but if you don't have 10 other deals in the pipeline ready to go, if that one big deal falls through, then you're sitting on nothing. But if you know how to prospect, if you are a diamond prospector, then you're going to create abundance of opportunities. So no matter what one big sale does, you've already got 2 or 3 queued up. I understood that very early on in my career, and it's really helped me get to this point. But the power of great is your brand. How do I sell my book? I have no idea what your book is, first of all, so I apologize if you've told that to me. I completely misunderstood that question. That's my fault. Inspired Woman, yes, true. Thank you so very much. So Jay's asking me how he would sell his book, how he would brand his book. Well, Jay, first of all, I would tell people right away that I don't know if I can say this. Is prospecting and referrals the same? Yeah, because you have to prospect for referrals. If you didn't create some sort of credibility, or if you didn't create some sort of opportunity with a particular prospect already, you would have never got the referrals. Right? So Jay asked how he would market and brand his book. Well, first of all, I would say, what is your book? Then the second thing I'm going to say is, well, what does that really refer to? What's your story? So that's really where you would start branding anything. It all goes back to that story. That's why I said, what did I say at the very beginning of this? What did I say? Tell your story first. So Jay, when it comes to credit repair, at some point, did credit repair solve a problem for you in your life? Or what caused you to go into credit repair? I'm a new business owner. Do you recommend that I use my real name or another name? You always want to use your real name. Because T2 squared 2, I have no clue what that is. But if I put the power of great as my username, you guys aren't going to know the power of great. But you guys know who I Am Matt Crane is. So the other thing that a lot of people on social media misrepresent is they don't put their name on their profile. They put all these other crazy titles, and nobody has a clue what that means or what it does. You also want to make sure that your username can be easily understood, like Miss Career IT. I was completely murdering that until she told me how to say it. And now it all makes sense. Okay? So as a credit repair expert, once again, Jay, what put you into credit repair? Why did you go into it? Why do you want to write a book around it? What does credit repair mean to you, and why is it a passion of yours? Yes, absolutely. Mr. Felix just brought up a great point. You don't want to be Tommy Guns 8708 on Snapchat and then Matt Crane on Facebook. That's I call it the two-faced syndrome. You guys have seen Batman. One face is this and one face is that. You don't want to have the two-faced syndrome on social media. That's why how much easier it is to introduce myself as I Am Matt Crane across the board on all social media platforms. Look at this as well. So imagine this. If you go to Google right now and you type in I Am Matt Crane, all these things are going to pop up. That's branding, okay? So my man says, I was a mortgage broker for 23 years and I learned all the lending secrets. Okay? So why do you want to write a book about it? Why are you passionate about what you do? Why did you start? What is your story? Is that rhetorical questions or is that real questions for me? I definitely have gone over 2 or 3 minutes, but hey, I'm loving the engagement. Here's what I'd say. As long as you're committed to engaging with me, I want to engage back with you. So now we're at the portion of the show where we can definitely go off topic. I had a feeling it was rhetorical, but some people do that to me all the time, MJJ, and I sit there with crickets, and they're like, we're waiting, and I want to say, waiting for what? Is Begin With Why a good book? I've never read it. I need to read it because I know how to raise FICO scores faster than any. How can you prove that? See, the other thing you don't want to do with branding is you don't want to make claims that you can't back up. So when I hear people all the time tell me, well, I can help you get to 6 figures in 30 days. Can you really? What's your proof? Right? What's your proof? Okay? You've done it many times. What's one example of how you did it, why you did it, and what it was able to accomplish for the people or the persons or the individuals that you did it for? How do you discern advice? I'm sorry, MJJ, put that back up. Jay, I'll have you leaving through this, man. You have testimonials. Okay, here's the deal. I think everybody here is giving you this idea. Here's what I would tell you. Now you got to start telling that story. But I'm going to tell you, there's still something about it that tells me that you've at some point have an emotional attachment to credit repair. How do you discern advice given to you about your brand? I think you just so kind of break down when you say discern. Because I'm always willing to take advice about my brand. But I also want to make sure that my brand is also being understood in an appropriate way before I kind of receive that advice. Does that make sense? So, Jay, what I'm going to tell you at this point is now you just got to start talking about that story. I've written my book over 1.5 years on Periscope and on Facebook and on Twitter and on Instagram because, man, everybody's seen my story. They've heard my story. Now all I'm doing is taking all that collection of information and I'm just putting it on paper and giving it a shelf life. Awesome, man. Well, I'm ready to hear that story, buddy. Now it's time for you to hit that button like my man Greg said. What's your top 3 business tips for a newbie? Top 3 business tips for a newbie. Number 1, you want to have a plan. Right? You want to have a structural plan. Okay? Number 2 is you want to be authentic. Be authentic. I'm assuming you're in the network marketing business, and let me tell you, that industry as a whole has a terrible reputation because too many people come into the game not being authentic. They take what they hear at these big conventions from all these people that are making 6 and 7 figure earners who've been doing it for 20 and 30 years, and then they just regurgitate that information. Well, that's not authentic because that's not what you want to say. Most people that join network marketing businesses that have never built a business are doing 2 things. 1, they're wanting to get paid. And 2, they're wanting to get paid. So just come right out of the gate and say that. And then what you're able to do by saying, man, I just really want to make a better income. Okay, great. Now, let me show you how to do that. So number 2 is you want to be authentic. And then number 3, tell your story. The biggest misstep, any new person that's creating a business, the worst thing they do is they don't tell their story. And I'll tell you, this marketplace is not forgiving at all. It's so fast-paced. It's so evolving. There's so many things that's happening because of social media that if you come out with a weak story, you're getting gargled. Not chewed up and spit out. You're getting gargled. Somebody's just going to play with you for a while. So tell your story. So number 1, have a plan. Number 2, be authentic. Number 3, tell your story. Because what I really want everybody to walk away from with Matt Crane is knowing why I am Matt Crane. That's why my handle is I am Matt Crane. Because that's who I am. My man is Felix A. Anderson. That's who he is. Charles Inferna. That's who you are. MJJ Lover 97. That's who he is. Miss Career IT. That's who she is. So whether I'm talking about the power of prospecting or I'm talking about how phenomenal this flat bill is, you guys are going to walk away knowing who I am Matt Crane really is. So T2 Square 2, first thing you want to do right out of the gate is you want to get a better screen name. It's difficult to read. People are going to get confused by what they're saying, and it could be difficult for you to figure out. You're going to constantly be explaining what that is, and your story's going to get lost because people are going to be waiting for you to tell them what T2 Square 2 means. Any other questions? I'm loving the engagement. Look, hey, the more questions that you guys ask, the more I want to answer. So at this point, we're definitely all about questions. My name is Matt Crane at I am Matt Crane across the board on all social media channels. Thank you all for being here. My man Aldo Novak for inviting followers. Thank you, thank you, thank you. The hearts, the comments, the shares, the like. Got it. Tanya, boom, there you go. Right? Thank you, my man. Thank you. You got it, Jay. What's the best motivation for starting a business? Not being broke. That's the best motivation to starting a business. So check this out, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to blow your mind with something really quick. When you go and you interview for a job, you're starting a business. Because you're offering a service to get a paycheck. The only difference between a business and a job is someone else is telling you how to get paid and when to get paid. Jay Cali, 135, what's up, buddy? But when you go and interview for your first job, you're starting a business. Because you're offering your services for money. That's what a business does. I got a coaching client right now that is one of the best Verizon wireless sales reps. And he was really struggling in his job. Can you start over if you've already started and rebrand? Absolutely. It happens every day. Coke used to put real cocaine in their drinks until they realized how stupid that was, and then they started putting sugar. That's rebranding. They kept the name, but they rebranded the ingredients. I lost login for Greg Harvey, so I've been using Greg R. Harvey. Is there a way to get other back and merge? Should be. All you would just need to do is request your password, and yeah, I think you could merge it. Yes, live and die for my dream because it's worth it. Absolutely, I couldn't agree with you more. But what I was telling you is I have a coaching client right now that I work with, I coach and I mentor, and he came to me and he was really stuck at Verizon. He's a top rep now with Verizon Wireless, and he was really stuck. No disrespect, my man Diego. I want to respond to you. I have no idea what you're saying, but thank you for being here. And he came to me because he thought he needed to become an entrepreneur. He thought he needed to own his own business because he thought that would help him get recognized and make more money. And you know what I told him? I said, what are you good at? What are you passionate about? What are you an expert at? And he said, what I'm doing right now. And he says, then why would you not want to be the best at that and have an entrepreneurial mindset while do it? All of a sudden it clicked. And now what he's doing, he's gaining invaluable training and learning and opportunities to not only grow his income, but he's becoming a stud. Where do I see myself in 5 years at I am Matt Crane? I see myself on stages with Tony Robbins, Grant Cardone. I see myself on stages with Gary Vaynerchuk. I'll be traveling the world with my Power of Great series. I'll be doing speaking series all over the world, and I'll just be loving life in 5 years. Ask Sean Thomas join, guys. There's a living, breathing proof of a guy that's winning on Instagram. Had he joined earlier, I would have just turned the show over to him. Ask Sean Thomas. Amazing dude. If you're not following anybody on Instagram, please, for the love of God, follow him. I love that guy. And he's in your face. So if you think my flat bill is cray-cray, that guy is my boy. Ask Sean Thomas. So, Sean, man, we're just talking about the power of prospecting on Instagram. Right now, we're just really at the Q&A on the backside of it, but I said there was 5 key elements to becoming a great prospect on Instagram. Number 1, you want to create brand-specific content. Number 2, you want to be a reactive storyteller. Number 3, you want to create sneak peek content or that insider content that people like. Number 4, you want to have motivational and inspirational quotes. And then number 5, you want to leverage the hashtags. So, ask Sean Thomas, guys. He has a ginormous following on Instagram, but he put a post up, and it was something that really resonated. So since he's here, I definitely want to give him props because I learned a lot from him on this. Is that he regenerates a lot of his content that he does on Instagram because he has over, I think it's almost 1 million followers now on Instagram. He put a post up, and he said, I think only 60,000 saw it. And so 630,000, right? So a tenth of those saw that post or engaged that post. And what he did is he went back and he actually just regurgitated it. He didn't reinvent the wheel or try to create a better post. He just took what he already did and just repurposed it. That's a great prospecting tool. I call that reeling in the line and then throwing it back out. There's fish in the river. It's just maybe they didn't want to bite your lure at that time. But what do most fishermen do? They just hit the troll motor and they move on down to what they think's a better spot instead of reeling in that lure and throwing it back out there. That's what entrepreneurship is all about. Is are you committed to stay dedicated and focused enough? Okay? Are you committed to that consistent behavior that's necessary? So, so I'd love to answer any more questions that you guys might have, or guys and gals. Look, the more engagement you have, the more engaged I get to be, and that's what's important. I think everybody loves to hear themselves talk, but I really love to help you all walk away from Periscopes like this with better knowledge and better tools to be more successful. So while we've talked about Instagram, if you've got a question about any other platform, I'm going to answer to the best of my ability. And if I don't know the answer, the beautiful thing is I'll be able to leverage someone else, and I can send you to where you can find the answer. So you saw my man Ask Sean Thomas earlier. What was the first thing he said about Instagram? It was the #1 lead generator. What did I tell you guys about Instagram by the numbers? The engagement on Instagram, 10 times better, 10 times higher than Facebook, 54 times higher than Pinterest, and 84 times higher than Twitter. And my man Sean Thomas, who's a millionaire and a social media influencer, the first thing he said was it was the #1 lead generator. So thank you for validating my point, Sean. Thank you. And guys, if you don't pay attention to my man, askamillionaire.com, SeanThomas.com. The guy's doing some major things with his brand. I'm really impressed with what he's doing and how he's building it, and I'm learning a lot from the guy. The Georgia Fight song would go great on that playlist. Negative, Ghostwriter. The pattern is full on that one. Not bad for a year? Yeah, I'd say not bad for a year, Sean. I think what most people don't really understand is how much you've worked your tail off this year. Traveling and learning and growing and teaching and training and studying. And it's crazy because you don't have to. But you love to, man. And that's what I love about you. Can you break down lead generator? So what? Well, so Sean will weigh in on this, but lead generator is this. Why would you use social media and post on social media and spend so much time on social media if all you're going to do is post and spend so much time on social media? You need to lead to an end result. So when you create a post on social media and you call yourself a business owner, or you have a 9-to-5, or you have a job where you can service someone, and you create a post and that person likes it, shares it, comments on it, that's a generated lead, because you created a direct follow-up opportunity from that. That's what I love about social media, because it directly allows me to follow up with you, because you've given me the intel I needed to follow up with you on. You know, if I put a post up about anything, you know, if I put a post up on social media about a tire, right? Every time I go and I work out, there's this tire that I flip every night because it's just in my way. So instead of walking around the tire, I'm going to address the tire and move it. And I was talking about how most people don't move the tire in their life. Well, when all these people started commenting and liking on that, it opened up a direct follow-up opportunity. Hey, thanks for responding to my message. What prompted you to send me a comment? What was it about this post that made sense to you or struck a chord with you? Now I'm creating dialogue. Now it's giving me an opportunity to find out, are you just following to follow? Are you engaging just to engage? Or did you really put your hand up and say, hey, I want some help. I don't know how to ask. I'm just going to respond to this post to see if I can get some sort of response. So because engagement on Instagram is 10 times higher than Facebook, 54 times higher than Pinterest, and 84 times higher than Twitter, it's the #1 lead generator. That's why Facebook, the largest social media platform on planet Earth, bought them out. Because they want that data. And they want that engagement on their platforms. All it did was pad their portfolio and improve and increase their market share. Any other questions, ladies and gentlemen? I never know what to say when people comment with emojis. I hate it. I always comment back with stuff like, well, what does fire mean? Are you trying to burn this post down? Just get creative sometimes. I've had a couple dookie emojis on some of my posts, and I figured that responding wouldn't make no sense because they already shit on my post anyway. So what else is left? So I just hope they wiped before they left. Any other questions that I can answer? Look, at the end of the day, bottom line is this. No matter what you're trying to do, you have to become an effective prospector. You have to prospect effectively on these platforms. You know, one of the biggest lessons I've learned through my time in social media and live streaming is that you can't just do it just to do it. You have to have a reason. You have to be strategic. But more importantly, you have to do it. And the first thing you want to do is you want to tell your story. So, well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. I want to say thank you again. If anyone has any questions, now would be a great time to pop those up. If not, we're going to wrap up this Periscope. Look, every Monday through Thursday, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, the Power of Great live stream series is going to be live. It's going to be live on Periscope. And next week, we're also going to carry over in the Power of Prospecting series. We're going to talk about Snapchat, Twitter, Periscope, and Facebook Live. Because I truly believe that what people are really missing, thank you, Carrie Miller, I really appreciate that. Do you need a lot of followers to generate a high lead? So here's what I would say, no. So what's going to happen is that once your story really starts resonating, and this is why most people fail on social media, by the way, because they're too concerned with big amounts of followers. So here's what I'm going to tell you. Once you start really telling your story, and you really start talking about who you are and what you do and why you do it, not the fluff version, but the real version, your circle will actually shrink before it expands. And why most people get discouraged and quit is because when that circle shrinks, it's like the stock market. They think they lost so much. But remember, you started with nothing on this platform. Just like you started with nothing before you put your money in the stock market. But you might have been riding a high, you might have been riding high on the stock market for a while. And it was up $100, $200, and then it shrunk back down to 20, and you freaked out. What'd you do? You pulled your money out and you moved on. Mr. Felix, thank you, buddy. So remember, before you hit the broadcast, nobody really knew who you were. And so that one person is still a prophet. And now it's up to you on how do you grow that 1 to 2, then 2 to 3, then 3 to 4. Don't eject. Don't pull your money out. Remember, when you started the stock market, you had 0. When it went to 20, you still had 20 left. So tell your story. And look here, when your circle shrinks, now you're building an army or a target audience. And you're going to allow that target audience to get so intertwined with your story and your brand that they become advocates. Okay, I wrote a blog called The Net Promoter Score, how to move people to advocates in 90 days. And that's taking people from the living room and moving them to the kitchen, where you have a lot of the hard conversations. So don't overlook the small circle because you want to get to the masses. It's the small circle that leads to the masses. So to answer your question, no. That's when I really started to understand that and doing that is when I started winning. I haven't been posting much on Instagram. Is it true they will block you if you start posting a lot? I don't care if you block me or not. If I have something to say, I'm going to say it. If I have a post that I think makes sense, I'm going to post it. If I have a blog that I think people need to read, I'm going to post it. It's up to you whether you want to accept it or not. That's not up to me. What is up to me is to continue to be so consistent that it forces you to make a decision. You're either in or you're out. Entrepreneurship is hard enough as it is. I don't need to play the merry-go-round. So if you block me, that's on you, not on me. Because my information is consistent. My information is built on validity, and I have the backup to prove it. But once again, if you're only posting to post, then you're going to post 300 or 400 things. If you're really posting to make sense, then you put so much time and effort into you that you won't have time to post 300 things. What drives me? This is what drives me right here, man. That's what drives me right there. That's my 3-year-old Riley. And this is all the men in our family. And we lost this guy 2 years ago. It's my best buddy right here. But that's my 5-year-old, and that was my 3-year-old when he's a baby. But this is what really drives me. This is why I became an entrepreneur. Now, my wife is in this picture right here. And my boys are right there. But that's what drives me. Because every day that I get to wake up and take them to school, and every day that I get to go pick them up, and every day that we get to go have a fun day and an afternoon, because I know how to make money and I know how to go get what I need. That's what really drives me. And the thought of that being taken away from me drives me even more. So that's why I'm not concerned whether you block me or not. Because they depend on me. And whether I show up or whether I don't show up, they think enough of me to still love me. So if they're going to love me anyway, then I'm going to show up every day. Well, guys, we've spent over an hour together tonight. It's been an hour that I absolutely love. Do you have any tips on Snapchat? So, Jay Kylie, I do, and I will tell you that next week we're going to talk about that. So I definitely don't want to give away anything. How long have you been working for yourself? Let me get some of what's in that cup. That take that. My man Kyle Yates. Hey, this is my boy right here, guys. Kyle Yates. College teammates, best buddies, late night roll dogs, low crawl savants. I love that dude, man. I absolutely love that guy. How long have I been working for myself? I would say full-time working for myself, 3 years. But working for myself in a capacity, almost 10. Now, I've had corporate jobs. I've had 9-to-5 jobs. I've had a lot of independent contractor jobs that depended on other people. But so a little over 3 years. And it's been brutal, man. It's been 3 years of just straight grimy, just grit. And it's still getting better. It's getting better every year because I'm learning a lot more. I'm growing a lot more. Hey, I am Chris Holmes. I appreciate that. Thank you so very much. Claudio, what's up, man, from Brazil? I think my man Aldo probably brought you in. If he did, thank you. For everyone that shares this out, man, I'm just blessed. For everyone that shares this, that comments, that engages. I mean, that's why I really spend over an hour with you guys, because I said, hey, I'll take 2 to 3 minutes for questions, and it's now going on 30. And I love that about each and every one of you. How do you get clients in consulting business? Well, I think that, first of all, is I consistently tell my story, but then I also create multiple points of contact. So I've probably said over 10 times throughout this Periscope where to follow me, how to follow me, what information I share, and then I direct you to my Business Builders Inner Circle. But then I also think that it's important that as you do these complimentary type Periscopes, people see the depths of what you are able to do. You know, I'm not an expert on Instagram, but because I know how to build a business and I know how to help people build businesses, I'm able to learn from these platforms and then take what I've done and what I've learned and how I've helped other people use it to their advantage. I share it with you, and then you at that point are now engaged. Your interest is now piqued. And I always say this, imagine what you would get for paying for my services based on what you're getting from me for free. And then again, every time somebody posts on my comments, shares, likes, I still make the old school phone calls. I'm still out doing the belly to belly. How can you optimize Instagram stories? Well, first of all, Instagram stories, the last word, I'm going to say this a million times, is that the most engagement you're going to get on Instagram stories is by telling your story first. Then how do you want to leverage it? Is you want to download those stories and you want to repurpose that content to other places. And then what you want to say is so you take an Instagram story and you post it to Facebook and you say, hey, this is my recent Instagram story. I wanted to share it with you on Facebook. For more of these, simply go to Instagram and follow me at boom. But the other thing I'm going to tell you on how to optimize Instagram stories and how to leverage it is don't be stagnant. Don't have 20 Instagram stories that are in the same position. You know, move around. Show people different parts of where you are. Do an Instagram story from an exotic place. You know, I'm going to be in Vegas next week speaking. I'm going to be in the Caribbean at the end of October. So I'll be doing a lot of Periscopes and Instagram stories from the ocean on our cruise ship. And, you know, a lot of different things like that. So, and those are things that people like. So share your journey. Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Matt Crane I am Matt Crane across the board on all social media channels. Thank you so very much. I'm going to be in the Palms at Las Vegas August 18th through the 20th. There's a live stream event, Scopers Unite, Parapreneurs, Talent Tribe. I'm going to be keynoting the event down there. And really excited about it, but I'm going to be at the Palms in Las Vegas. Awesome. Yeah. All right. I like it. Yeah, the Palms is awesome. Definitely. So, well, look, everyone have an amazing night. Thank you so very much. The power of great. Don't forget, if you haven't already, you haven't already, hang on one second. Take a screenshot of this screen so that way you guys have all the places that I am at on social media. You can see the consistency with I Am Matt Crane. This right here as well is my podcast. That'll take you directly to the iTunes download. And that way you can stay logged. The Power of Great podcast. I would ask that if you get to the Power of Great podcast, simply subscribe. So every time I upload a new episode, you get it directly to your phone. And then, hey, if there was an episode you liked, or if you just thought it sucked, or if you think it could be better, drop me a review. Once again, I'm very big on engagement, and I believe that I'm not using these platforms correctly at all if I'm not asking you to engage with me there. Absolutely, Brooke. Is that with Daniel Winningham in Vases? Mine is not. It could be, but I don't know that name, so I can't say that right away or not. I'm going to be down there with the likes of Ricky Bain, with Perrypreneurs, Frank Salas with Talent Tribe, and so many other amazing people. So I'll be doing a keynote on business development, really how to leverage online and offline to build your business, and how you really can utilize both to create a really strong business and how to develop better business through those platforms. So I'm really excited about that as well. But look, everyone that comes in tonight, and I'm going to be honest with you, what I'm more amazed about is how many people stayed this entire time, and how many of you dedicated this now hour and a half, 90 minutes, to hanging out with me. That means the world to me, and I really appreciate that and respect that just as much as I hope you respect what I really try to do and serve you every single night that I get on Periscope. So look, everybody have a great night. My name is Matt Crane, and there's one message, actually two messages that I'm going to leave you with tonight. Number one, recognize that your current situation is not your defining moment. Number two, success is never measured by what you step out of, rather by what you're committed to step into. If you take those two things to heart, then great things are going to happen to you. And I'm so excited to share in those great moments. Everyone have an amazing night. I love you all, and I'll see you next time right here on the Power of Great live stream series with I Am Matt Crane. Talk to you soon.